What's going on, everybody? So it's been a while since I talked about cryptocurrency. It might be a while. You're looking at the OX9BB contract, but first, I got to air out some issues happening in the world as far as real life, and I'm not talking about, a wide, you know, array of topics. I'm talking about just some simple stuff that's going on right now with this vaccine talk. 2 weeks ago, the whole narrative was different. The narrative was the vaccines are going to come out in April of next year, or not necessarily come out or be distributed, but at least, yeah, that's what the talk was. That April is when, people can expect to get the vaccine. Now, over here, something magically happened where Pfizer, you know, is issuing kits now and boxes to people in preparation to start to distribute on December 15th of this month. December 15th. What happened within the last 2 weeks? I wonder. Now, to the people out there who are watching this video, trolls included too, because, it is what it is. Um, they say that vaccines, normally take years, through various trials and whatever. It takes years. I've heard as much as 10 years, 12 years to finally get approved to be distributed so people could be inoculated. Now, with this warp speed craziness, we have December 15th as a date. And not only do we have that, but supposedly, allegedly, they're saying 175,000 people will be vaccinated on the 15th, starting with the population in the nursing homes. Mhm. Nursing homes. Okay, I don't trust these people. I just don't. I do not trust these people. You know, it makes me think about things like, for example, the flu shots. The flu shots, I've taken the flu shots and I've gotten sick behind taking the flu shots. And like an idiot, I've taken the flu shots multiple times. There are times when I did not take the flu shot, and throughout the whole winter season, you could say, between the fall and the winter, a 6 month period, I didn't get sick. There have been times where I've taken the flu shots, and guess what? I've been as sick as a dog for weeks, even up to a month with the flu shot, with having taken the flu shot. Can you imagine? So, the governor in where I live, New York, says that, he likes to quote John Hopkins University a lot, often, with the stats that the hospital issues out regarding COVID and the rankings of the country and how, from most severe to the least severe, vice versa, rankings of how the cases are going up in this country. He likes to always say that New York is on the top of the list because New Yorkers have taken a serious stance towards trying to control the spread of this virus, right? Hmm. What I find interesting is the same institution that he likes to quote just wrote an article on dated November 27th, 2020. Just wrote an article pretty much emphasizing how COVID-19 is almost been taken way too seriously. Okay? How COVID-19, yes, it's a serious pandemic. It's something that, it's having its global impact, but ideally, people who have died have had comorbidities, whether it's asthma, whether it's some type of chronic illness like pneumonia, or even diabetes, whatever it is. And instead of saying that, when people have died, instead of saying they've died due to complications of heart disease, et cetera, et cetera, if they had COVID, they would just say, oh no, COVID killed these people, it wiped them out. And allegedly, the talk is too that hospitals are getting funded for each COVID death that they report. This whole vaccine talk, all of a sudden, this magic appearance of vaccine in less than what, a year. In less than a year, a vaccine was created, and now there are going to be so many people waiting in line, eagerly, arms out, ready to be inoculated, to take that hot dose of a vaccine that you don't know what's going in your arm. And what the governor is telling the people is, you know what? He's not going to do something. He's not going to expect the people to do something he's not going to do. And they asked him again today, are you going to be the first? He said, yeah, he's going to be the first to take it. He almost had an attitude in his briefing today. You know, he's going to be the first to take this vaccine. And, black and brown, this whole talk about black and brown again, crayon box, the black and brown population, since they've been, the ones that have, got killed the most. Blacks, 2.5 times more than whites. Brown, 1.5 times more than whites have died due to COVID. That's going to be the prime target population, the demographic that he will seriously go after to do hardcore outreach to get them vaccinated. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about it anymore. I don't know what to say about it anymore. The choice is, it's funny because how do you mandate people to take vaccines? A person who I highly respect just even informed me that, certain countries are not allowing people to fly out of the country without showing that you have proof that you've been vaccinated. You won't even be able to fly as you show your passport to take a trip somewhere, get on a plane. You have to show documentation proof that you have been vaccinated. And another thing, and I think this is happening. This started in Australia. Don't quote me. The research is out there. Do your research, people. I'm just talking. Um, another thing. Another thing. The governor mentioned how 75% of the country needs to be vaccinated in order for the vaccinations to be effective. And how, according to some type of, okay, 75% of the country, 75% of a population of 340 million people need to be vaccinated in order to have an effect, for it to be effective. So 25% don't have to be. Guess what? I'm gonna be part of that 25% because I'm not trying to get vaccinated from some shit from some people who I don't even trust, I just don't trust them. Period. I don't trust them at all. And so he also said that there's a poll, I don't know where they get these polls from, but a poll that says 50% of people who, according to whatever survey sample they took, 50% of the people do not want to take the vaccine. So this is going to be an uphill battle. An uphill battle. This is, again, another wave of rumblings for a crazy storm that's about to happen. This is the quiet before the storm that's about to happen. People just don't see it. Now, I'm showing you OX9BB because this is a smart contract that allows people to use wrap Bitcoin on top of the Ethereum blockchain through this smart contract to earn staking rewards by way of wrap BTC that you can use however you want. Okay? The reason why I'm talking about this is because as I speak right now, at the time of this recording, there are billionaires, there are corporations, there are institutions, there are family offices, there are hedge funds, there are CEOs, there are the wealthy of the wealthy who are buying up Bitcoin like it's like there's no tomorrow. Okay? Only 900 Bitcoin can be issued a day, and people are buying them. They're buying all the new Bitcoin that's being issued right now. This is something that's been recorded. Individuals or companies like Square or Cash App, PayPal, this is what they're doing. They're buying them all. They're even considering, if not already, approaching the miners directly so that the miners can give them the Bitcoins and they'll pay for it. They'll pay whatever it costs because they know that the value of the dollar is devaluing, it's being debased, it's losing value for a multitude of reasons. This is what's happening right now. This is what has allowed the price of Bitcoin to rise up from ten or $11,000 from 2 months ago, or 12,000 from 2 months ago, to now almost touching 20K. This is not from the ICO craze, in my opinion, from 2017. This is coming from the institutions who are greedily, and I've said this before in my previous videos, who are greedily buying this crypto asset that they're saying is digital gold. They're buying it. They're buying it at whatever cost. They don't care who they have to, you know, whatever, compete with. You're talking about millions and millions of dollars. Companies that are declaring they spent $425 million to buy Bitcoin, $500 million to buy Bitcoin. Okay, Grayscale having over half a million bitcoins by themselves as their own entity. How many individuals hold thousands and thousands? These exchanges that are out here, even the top exchanges, don't have as many bitcoins as these corporations have. And the corporations and the elitists and the globalists do not care. They don't care about you and I. They don't care because why? They want to remain in control because they see that the power of the dollar is weakening. It's weakening. They have cash on hand in their companies, in their treasury reserves, and they're looking at ways to save their wealth. And what are they looking at? We're talking about people who hated Bitcoin, who thought Bitcoin was a scam, who frowned upon it, who thought it was just mainly used to buy drugs, to do illicit activities, are changing their tune, are changing their tune now, and they're positioning themselves. While the retail people, regular folks, they call them retail investors, right? The people at the bottom, the small guys, the small women, the small people, the people at the bottom of the totem pole are just watching this happening. Any type of Bitcoin that you have, and this is not financial advice, people. This is just a public service announcement. Any type of crypto you have by way of Bitcoin, let me tell you, folks, don't spend that, because what you effectively will be doing is transferring your wealth, because people are eagerly waiting to take that shit off your hands. They're eagerly waiting to take it. Doesn't matter if it's 100 satoshis, 1,000 satoshis. Do not let that go, because at one day, the way they're talking, especially when they're giving these ridiculous amounts of price predictions for the next 12 months, not even 5 years. We're talking about the next 12 months, 13 months. Companies like Citibank are projecting for Bitcoin to rise over 300K, over $300,000. Whatever you have now, hold on to it, because you will not be able to get it the same way. The minute you give it away, you're transferring your wealth. And this goes hand in hand with the great reset that they have going on already. When you have individuals and companies and world leaders getting together to create the next Bretton Woods moment, having talks about the Great Reset openly, the World Economic Forum openly discussing this on a global level, this because they see that the dollar and the financial legacy systems as we knew it is crumbling. It's crumbling, and they're laughing about it too. Why are they laughing? Because they've already become aware of the power of crypto, specifically the power of Bitcoin, an asset that no one can control. But they want as much of it so that they can retain their power and keep their feet on our necks. When you have countries, towns in South America and in Venezuela, they say, excuse me, people are already creating their own Bitcoin economies in places like Venezuela and Zimbabwe, all across the world, effectively just basically living, creating their own economies synonymously with what's going on in the world because their currencies have been devalued. What do you think is happening? What do you think the signs are right there? And this contract right here, people, one thing I got to say about the contract and the whole thing, it kind of goes against the thing of, self custody. And what I mean by self custody, sometimes crypto, you got to really go through the growing pains. you know, Wrapped Bitcoin, the actual Bitcoin is held by a custodian called BitGo. You know, they launched their services back in January of 2019. So BitGo is the custodian that actually has the actual Bitcoin because Wrapped BTC is pegged 1-to-1 to Bitcoin. Okay, Wrap BTC allows people to utilize their Bitcoins on top of the Ethereum blockchain in whatever ways they choose. But this contract allows people to buy, to sell, to hold their crypto and earn dividends through the volume that takes place within the contract. Okay. And the whole custodian aspect is not quite attractive is because it doesn't really you know, go hand in hand with the tenets of with the real tenets of cryptocurrency as far as being completely autonomous, self-sovereign, self-custody, etc., etc. But this is effective. This is effective because crypto is introducing a multitude of ways for people to earn passive income by earning more crypto, by positioning yourselves and remaining competitive in the game, remain competitive in the game that we're losing right now. And I say that emphatically because it's the truth. If you have 100 satoshis, that's probably more than millions will ever have in their entire life right now because the mathematics prove that. It proves that there's only going to be a certain amount of Bitcoin ever created in life, and these monsters are taking all of it. And guess what? They're not necessarily taking all of it to allow you to, or you and I, to buy it. They're holding it. They're holding it. They're holding it with the intent to never sell. You have stories where people are storing their crypto in cold wallets in mountains in Switzerland. Okay, you have people who intend on never selling for 100 plus years, thereby weakening everyone else's opportunity to get in. 6 months from now, from the date of this recording, 6 months from now, I tell you, it's going to be a complete drought, a complete shortage. There's not going to be any type of Bitcoin as we know it that's going to be available for the masses. And so, what's going to happen? The premiums are going to go through the roof for people to buy the little bit of satoshis that you can get today. They're going to pay an arm and a leg just to get crumbs because you have the likes of Grayscale, Stone Ridge, even BlackRock, Fidelity, Square, PayPal, who are they're buying more crypto, more Bitcoin than what's being issued on a daily basis. What does that tell y'all? What does that tell you that's going on? We have a pandemic that's crippling the world. That people we're getting inundated with various levels of propaganda to break our spirit. And at the same time, we have to deal with the trillions and trillions of dollars that have been injected into this economy that's weakening the dollar. So those who are jobless are still suffering. Those who work, the monies that they get are not as strong as it was last year, won't be as strong next year or the year after that. So economically and financially, they're crippling us, and we're left to follow the rules. We're left to be under their control. We're left to remain subjected to their tyranny and their charm. We're dealing with demons. We're dealing with wickedness. It's just a fact. Everything out here is not sweet. Everything out here is not potpourri. These are devilish, wicked behaviors. What are you going to do to shield yourself from these problems? This contract is a tool that can help shield you and shield others and shield your loved ones from what's taking place out here as a community, because you need a community in order for these contracts and these cryptos to work. And the head honchos and the elitists, they understand that. These wealthy people, these macroeconomic experts and gurus, they all understand that. Just because they smile doesn't mean that they're your friend. They could care less. They're smiling because they know they're secure. And we're just looking at them salivating. We're just looking at them miserable. We're just looking at them wishing and hoping we can also have a chance. Well, here's the chance. Here's the chance. Here's the chance. You might look at, say, $10, $50 Bitcoin. You say, oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. But guess what? In a year, it'll be something. In 2 years, it'll be something. In 5 years, it'll be something. As time goes on, that piece of gold will accrue in value because more and more people will catch wind of what's going on right here, and they're going to pay you an arm and a leg to take away what you have. You sell any type of Bitcoin you have today, you have right now, you transferring your wealth. You participating in that great transference of wealth because people are eagerly waiting to take it off your hands. This is not about just having strong hands, because this contract introduces a certain level of game theory, which is what crypto does in general. It's not a game. This is as serious as cancer. It's not a game. I'm just saying this is people are practicing a certain level of discipline, a certain level of awareness. That's important when you're talking about investing. That's important when you're talking about generating wealth for your future descendants for years to come. This is what they know. This is what they understand, and this is what they respect. This is a language that people all understand, and that's money. They understand that. We all understand it. We understand it. And they understand how it works, and they understand what this powerful piece of technology has brought to the world. You're talking about Bitcoin as an asset that has outperformed within the last 11 years, has outperformed any and every asset known to man within the last 10, 11 years. You don't think they're going to jump on it? They're jumping on it. They're going to jump on it and keep jumping on it. You don't have to believe me. You could think I'm just one simple YouTuber, simple person making a video talking to a camera. You don't have to believe me. The truth will unfold in time. Just wait and see. You could be on the sidelines if you want. You could be on the sidelines if you want. But just know that what's going on, you heard it. When you find out sometime in the future, oh, I watched this video where the guy was saying, $50 of Bitcoin might not seem like anything, and look what it turned out to be. You're talking about $900 worth of Bitcoin back in March of this year turned into 3,800 today. Today, and that's just 1 year. That's just why? Because of the resurgence and declarations and announcements that all these institutions have done. That's what they're doing. Their institutions are racing. They're racing to take it all up, and everyone else is just going to have the crumbs, the dust, the ether, the nothing, And I'm not talking about Ethereum, like as far as what I said right now with Ether. I'm not trying to insult Ethereum. Ethereum is another heavy player. In order to interact with this contract, you need Ethereum. So it goes hand in hand. The top two cryptos in the world right now. But this piece of technology is here to help basically, again, level the playing field and equalize the odds and give the common people a chance to compete, to remain competitive, and to reclaim some form of control, some form of financial standing and control. Because the powers that be, these guys, these multi-million, billion, this thing right here, they're taking it all up out of your hands right before your eyes. So what are you gonna do? You gonna sit on your hands and just look? What are you gonna do? Insult, talk about, nah, you care about money, you care about stocks, you care about everything else, you care about your gold, you care about your silver, you're not gonna have any exposure to Bitcoin. Well, okay. It's on you, man. It's on you. It's on you. Two wars we fighting, multiple types of wars we're fighting here. Multiple types, multiple levels of battle. A health crisis and a financial crisis to the forefront. This is what we're doing. This is what's happening here. Take care.